And we are live. Welcome, everybody, to a long time overdue Developer DAO workshop. It has been a minute since last year, actually. So we are in the first quarter of the year, and I am proud to announce that we have a workshop with DD Legend, OG, Phil, with Lilypad, which is also filled with a lot of Developer DAO members. So it really kind of close to home on there, and excited to see what Phil has in for us today. If you are into AI, I mean, if you haven't heard of Lilypad, I mean, where have you been? I know everybody's heard of all the other ones, but Lilypad is one that has close to home. I got to play with it a little bit. If you saw the furry pic of me on Twitter, that came out of Lilypad. But anyways, let me introduce Phil. Phil, give us the intro. Let us know what everything's about. I'm going to go ahead and retweet this right now.
For sure. So I am Phil. I am a long-time Developer DAO member. I joined in 2021. Up until like a year ago, I started working at Lilypad along with Ali. She's the co-founder. She's a long-time DD member as well, and Nab, who joined our team about 9 months ago. So we've got the whole gang there, kind of building, solving problems, introducing problems for ourselves, but then solving them. And we recently just deployed a inference API where you can run text-to-text models, text-to-image, text-to-video, and that's kind of the reason why I'm here now, is to do a little demoing of what we've built and talk about what can be built and what we want built, and yeah, just get everyone involved. It's free at the moment, so it'd be a waste to not kind of play around with it and try and see if you can build some cool stuff or solve some of your own problems.
100%. Again, once again to reiterate it, it's currently free to use, right? So if you are paying for ChatGPT APIs or Claude or any of those other ones, and you run out of credits, Lilypad, right? So
That's right.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's not even, you don't have to be a DD member. It's free for everybody to use. So make sure to take advantage of it, because it will not be free forever. So I've used a few of those credits already. So thank you, Lilypad. But yeah, Phil, take it away. Show us what Lilypad is, what it's about. Why should people use it other than being free?
Sure. I mean, one of the biggest value props of using Lilypad is you can deploy your own kind of custom logic AI modules to the network and start using them almost instantly, right? So if you want to kind of take two Hugging Face models and chain the logic together to do a certain computation or task, you can deploy it to Lilypad and you don't have to use your own GPU resources. I know a lot of developers and developer relations kind of run on MacBooks, right? They have very limited GPU power, so Lilypad outsources that to people that have spare compute. And then you kind of like, at the moment it's free, but when we reach mainnet, you'll just pay as per job. So you won't be tied to any subscription on like the base level Lilypad. So I think that's a really cool kind of feature we have. Allows you to be very creative and not locked into other people's kind of code bases. I'm going to share my screen if that's all right.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, one thing I do want to reiterate is it's pretty cool that you can do that without having, a credit card, right? There's we assume, because we're in I don't want to say first world, but a privileged area, that a credit card, no problem. But there's a lot of people that don't have access to this because they don't have a credit card, so they can't sign up and get API keys. So if you get paid in crypto or anything, you can use whatever you can to get those credits and get access to AI. I'm gonna make us a little bit smaller here so we can see the screen. There we go.
No worries. So this is the API docs here. So yeah, as I said before, we have text-to-text LLMs. I think we have 9 or 10 models on the API at the moment. We have a image generation endpoint for SDXL Turbo, and we're adding, larger models on there as we kind of go through this process. We just added video generation, which uses the 1.2.1 model, and as we get more models, we'll add them to the API and kind of allow people to use whatever. And we also have a web search feature similar to like a Perplexity style web search. And then I guess before you even get started, you need a API key. So we can do that. I'm already signed in, so just create a new account. And then once you hit this dashboard here, you just click create API key, choose a name. If you want to add an expiry date on it, you can do that too. And then, yeah, that's pretty much all you need. So here's an example curl request. This is to a text-to-text model. You're going to give it some context for the actual assistant or system. And then this is where you would put your query in.
Really quick, Phil, for the API key, all you need to do is sign up with an email or?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So the way it works with our API, you will need to generate an API key. And if you want to use our CLI, which you pretty much use when you're testing, you would need to go and get testnet tokens. So you install the CLI from the binary, just running this script right here, and then you would set a private key. I would employ you to use a dev key or a burner key, and then you would come over here. You probably already got a web wallet, so you don't need to worry about that. And then we add the Arbitrum Sepolia testnet. Add the network, come down here, and then we have a faucet. So you would add the Lilypad testnet token, and then you can go to the Lilypad faucet right here. And we do have you have to be a member of our Discord to get tokens. If you don't have Discord and you want to play around with the testnet stuff on the CLI, just DM me and I'll send you some tokens. And then, yeah, once you are done with that, all you have to do is find your model that you're using. So this one is Cowsay. It just generates whatever your input in and a little cow. But as you're building, if you build your own custom module and deploy it to Lilypad, you would run it locally using Docker to test. And then once you deploy it to Lilypad, you would use the Lilypad CLI to run it on the network. So run it locally with Docker using your resources, your GPU, CPU, whatever you have. Deploy it to Lilypad, and then you can run it using someone else's GPU. So it's a really streamlined kind of process. And we do have guides all throughout our docs on how you can create your own modules. So yeah, API, free. All you need is an email. CLI, also free. All you need is a web wallet and the token information added.
What would be the best way to reach you, Phil, if they don't have Discord and they want to get to you?
Probably on Twitter or Telegram. So my Twitter is _Billingsby_, and my Telegram is just _Billingsby. You could also email me if you want, phil@lilypad.tech. It's probably better to just jump on the socials, though, to be honest.
Yeah. Give Phil a tag. I'm going to go ahead and post that into the chat here.
Tag me
that
up.
way everybody can follow you.
Yep.
Boom. Excellent. Okay. So we
sorry
have an
you can hear my kid in the background.
I thought it was an AI kid using
yeah, he might as well be just repeating himself.
Nice.
So yeah, once you generate your API keys and you want to start building, so we have this pretty basic text to image generator that I've created here. Just takes in a prompt, you click it, it sends the job to Lilypad, and then it would generate your image. And how that works is we have this form. Once you send the text to the form, it's going to hit the post request here, which then hits the route. It's pulling my API key from my environment file.
Phil, I'm only seeing the web page right now.
Oh my God. Hold on one sec. I need to switch to full screen.
There we go.
Sorry. Technology stuff.
Yeah. AI will eventually remove front ends, right? So we just voice talk it,
right? Right. All right.
Yeah.
Are we good now?
Yeah, I see the screen now. So you
Sweet.
have this repo. Is that in the docs? Is that public?
No, this is not public. I can make it public. There's no worries there. This was just kind of like a personal little mini project I built.
Okay.
But anyway, just a simple text input with a button. Once you click the button, it sends the text through to the post request on the back end. Here it's pulling the Lilypad API key from my environment file. And yeah, it's going to hit the image generate endpoint, pass in the input value and the model. It's going to do a little error handling if the response isn't okay. If not, it's going to create a blob and then a base 64 image and then send it back to the client. So got any prompts you want to see, Billy?
You caught me off guard on this one.
All right, I do a chicken riding a horse. That's kind of been my go-to testing prompt.
Oh, now when you say chicken riding a horse, I'm thinking of Chicken Jockey from Minecraft. Like,
I mean, maybe it was like a subconscious thing.
There you go.
So it will take a couple of seconds to generate.
Yeah.
This is a really lightweight model, so it doesn't really generate the best images. But as we add, better models onto the network, we won't have to worry about that really.
So how does one know the list of models? Is that in the docs? Like what you have available?
Sure. So we can come to Postman here, and we have these models endpoints. Sorry, guys. Come on, out, please.
No worries.
Yeah, we have these model endpoints that you can just hit. So this is our text-to-text endpoint. So it gives us all of our LLMs we've got available. And then if we go back to our docs, we have, where are we here? Yeah, here we go. We've got this get available models. So this is checking for the text to text, and then here we've got the image models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a one of those AI robots that from Tesla testing it live.
I have to put a weight in front of my door so he can't open it.
Making them strong too.
Yeah, for sure.
So is there like an open discussion on models of like what generates a better image for you, or is that just something that people trial and error?
It's kind of like a known thing.
Got it.
Across, I mean, people tinker and play around with different models all the time, especially like the hugging face kind of models.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really depends. Different models are better for different things, and it kind of just varies on what you're actually looking for. All right, seems we got an error here, so off to a burning start, that's for sure.
That's what happens when you do things live, you risk it for the
biscuit. For sure. I'm also like dealing with this kid, and it's very distracting.
No worries. No worries. I mean, life is interesting, right? Like as we grow here,
There we go.
Like Ethereum was like made by a bunch of like kind of kids in a sense. And so now everybody's like grown up, right? And so you see on your timeline you have like kids, and this is what happens.
Yeah, exactly. So here's our chicken riding a horse.
Nice.
Worked the second time round.
There you go.
So that's pretty much, how you would build something like that for yourself. And then we've got the Anura Playground, which is kind of a unified interface for the API itself. So you can kind of run through and pick a task and use different models. As I said before, we only have one text to image model.
Right.
And then we have the web search feature. So what is developer DAO? We're just going to ask it a simple question.
Okay.
And it's going to give us like all of the, first 10 results. Haven't seen Morales in a couple of years. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a wild one.
And so this is like a public thing that anybody can play with?
Yeah. yeah, if you go to anura-playground.vercel.app, then yeah, you can play around with it. Same with this SDXL thing. I think it's, yeah, here it is, LP-SDXL-UI. And you can kind of do what you need to do, generate some images, share them on Twitter.
Nice.
One other thing while we're in this code, I created a VS Code extension that you can kind of pick a model dynamically and then run a query against it. So what does this code block do? It's going to run its little thing in the background there. And then once it generates a response, it'll populate a little pop-up thing on the side here and give you a bit of a overview on what that code does.
Nice.
So this is
so in a sense, like this is totally free to use, right? Like a VS Code extension. Does it work with like Cursor and all the other ones too?
So this is just something that I built locally. I pushed so you can go into our tooling here. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. So I've got this short guide on how you can kind of create your own and run it locally. I didn't push it up to the Microsoft Workplace,
yeah,
or whatever it is, the extension thing. Hey, can you just give me like 10 seconds? I just
of course.
I'll be right back.
Sorry. No worries. Do what you got to do. Yeah. So as we're doing this, I mean, just something to think about, like as we have this this plugin, you could almost right now, because it's free, is kind of like make a free Copilot or a cursor, right? A cursor in essence, where you call the API, you can analyze the text to text and see, like, explain what it is or search the web against certain items. So I think that would be kind of cool to see something like that built out with the VS Code extension that will actually be free, I guess, until it becomes not free. But the ability to have these tools, if you don't have a credit card, or if at some point you only get paid in crypto and you have no way to cash out and you need to get something going on. And yeah, I think from NARB over here, since it's open AI compatible, you have the ability to do so. It's so early stage that we need someone to build it, right? So that would be kind of cool to mess around with, tinker around with. I think I've seen Lilypad do a hackathon recently, so curious to see what it is. Yeah, Claude is very expensive to use for all those API calls. So right now, because it's free, I would say take advantage of it, of whatever way you can get away with, right? Increase your productivity time with any kind of extension you have. Again, you can always copy and paste over to the interface and use the Anura Playground if you want to mess with it. But it's free right now, and why not build it in? Especially increase your tool set of learning how to build in your own VS Code plugin too, right? So not just using the AI, but learning another skill that's going to help you get ahead in this crazy game. Welcome back, Phil.
Thank you, Billy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, just everything all at once.
No worries. It makes it more entertaining, to be honest.
A little background noise, bit of a throw a bit of something in the mix.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is pretty much all you need to do to get that VS Code extension working on your machine. I mean, if I can be bothered, I can push it up so people can use it. But I think this is cool because it allows you to be very specific to your needs, right? You can give the LLM context and say, I'm a Python developer and I mainly deal with backend stuff. So then the LLM will then know, don't focus too much on anything but that, so it's really cool.
Yeah, for a long time, OpenAI was, especially for me doing scripts, it would refer to Ether's V5 versus Ether, V6, and then I'd have to refactor. No, I'm using V6, and then it will use an old version. And so if I could specifically say anytime I do a prompt, it's always going to be in this version, it would be super cool, right? Customize it to your needs. Exactly.
Yeah, it's super helpful. The one thing that you bringing that up reminded me to mention is our modules that the resource providers pull down and then run on their machines, they don't have network access at the moment. We're trying to solve that problem So eventually they can have network access, but all of this is offline. So if you deploy a model last week and then you ask it today, hey, what happened with the Zora airdrop or something that happened like today, it's probably not going to have that information like readily available. So just something to be mindful of, but we are working on it.
Nice.
All right, sweet. So we've got a couple more things to go through. So this is our, we built an AI research tool, CLI, and I recently turned the CLI into a Python server and then wrapped it with a client. So basically how this works is you put in some PDF research documents. These are about lung cancer research. And then you can ask it kind of, what is the latest on lung cancer research? And it's going to pass through all of the PDFs. And this takes a while because these are very large PDFs. So we'll click it. We'll move on to the next project, and then we'll come back and see what happened. But yeah, this will kind of summarize based on your question. It'll give you all the right kind of answers you're looking for.
So like, I always foresee that AI is going to take over tax season, right? Like, here's all my W-2s. Here's the latest tax, structure.
Right.
What do I owe in my taxes? And I can upload all my W-2s or 1099s and blah, blah, blahs. So like, this is pretty much a sample of right now. It's just breaking down everything, reading everything, and then coming back with a summary of all the documents you put up there, right?
Yes. Yeah. So it's just going to like pass, format it, pass it through, and then send it to the LLMs with a bunch of context, and then the LLM do their magic, send back a result. I can't wait for someone to build that tax tool, like one-click solution where you just input a bunch of stuff, generates things, and you can move on with your life without stressing about taxes.
There you go. That would be super nice. Until then, my tax man is still cashing in. So
right.
But yeah, so like, but this is kind of like an introduction into DeSci, right? Like decentralized science, where you can share this information, get cancer research, right? And then that somehow can be databased on Lilypad, and then people can refer to that, right, as a module.
Exactly. I mean, you think of how much human power it takes, and how many months to simulate certain, say, proteins, when it comes to medicine development, and AI can run simulations like that in hours. So you can take months of human work, or you can kind of populate the data that you want to feed to these machines and get them to do it for you. It's really crazy. It's revolutionary to modern medicine. And I think we're going to really see that over the next couple of years, is how many problems are solved just by using AI.
Yeah, I just saw a post not too long ago, like I think like within the last week, of like some guy was able to diagnose himself after 7 years of failures with doctors and hospitals.
Right.
ChatGPT like told him exactly what it was, and he was cured. I'm like, what? It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I would encourage people to not put too much trust into AI systems for self-diagnosis, but it helps. Like, I read a story the other day. A guy put his symptoms into ChatGPT, and it said, you need to get to a hospital immediately. And he went to the hospital, and they said, you've got a blood clot that could have taken you out if you'd have waited a couple more minutes or hours. So it's just good to have a second voice. And the more I play around with it on Lilypad, and the more I get into more specific models, I'm just like, wow, like the capabilities of this stuff is far beyond, hey, be a reply bot on Twitter, or do my DeFi stuff for me and put money on this when it gets down. There's just so many outside uses that the average person isn't aware of yet. And that's kind of what Lilypad is aspiring to do, is open it up for everyone, so you're not just kind of locked into one subscription. Like, I have 3 AI subscriptions at the moment, and I eventually don't want to have any, or I just want to have one. And I think Lilypad solves that. So
yeah, it blows my mind that this is like free right now. So super cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to play around with. I mean, if you can come up with your own use case or proof of concept while it's free,
Yeah.
Then when we do launch to mainnet, you can monetize your models that you deploy. You can become a resource provider yourself and make money providing GPU power. So there's a lot of like nice, unique ways you can have a sustainable business or project just using us. So
We got opportunity. Basically, there's
yes,
opportunity here.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, moving on, this is more of a social kind of app. I've showed you the basic kind of things you'd expect with the LLMs, but so this is a project that Jay, one of our DevRels, created. It's called Vibe Check, and
Also a developer DAO member too.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
definitely. So yeah, you basically go in and you would add your profile. So this is Developer DAO's profile. It tells you their kind of tags, wholesome shit posters. I think that's pretty accurate. And then you pick another community that you kind of want to see what the vibes would be with them, right? So now we've got Lilypad. We click check the vibes. It's going to run a little magic on the background. And then eventually it's going to give you kind of an interface or like a view of what kind of synergy those two projects would have.
So it's like a community dating app, basically.
Pretty much. Yeah, so it gives us a perfect match. We already knew that, obviously.
Yeah.
And then it gives you a suggested collaboration. So we could create an AI tool that streamlines Web3 development learning and integrate Lilypad and use Developer DAO's curriculum building expertise.
Got it.
Gives you a next step. So we could do a joint webinar, which we're kind of doing now.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, they're social links. So really cool thing. You can share it to Twitter.
Okay. I need to see like someone make a hackathon or some kind of idea of this to make this into like a pop the balloon version on here.
Oh, yeah.
That show cracks me up. I see it all over the socials with the pop the balloon.
It's
So
tragic, man.
please, if you're out there, please make a pop a balloon version of this where we're like, you don't vibe. You just vibe.
You just pick different people out of a lineup, and
That's it. I would die. That would be the Lilypad's most product market fit for the socials.
I think you should build it, mate. You sound like the pop the balloon expert here.
Oh yeah, I feel pop. Oh man.
So we can. All right, we got an error on that, so we're just going to try it again. This is a project I built. It basically takes 8 different personas and allows you to select the ones you want to give a specific topic. So I'm going to put in, should AI be open source? And then I'm going to select, do you want to give me some options here? I like the pessimist because they always come back and say that's a stupid idea or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's stuck on the screen right now. So I still see the AI researcher processing. There we go. It just came up now. The great debate. Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple of percent. I'm just going to choose ones that I think would answer this question pretty well.
So this is like an AI versus AI
yes.
Chatting.
Yep. So I give them all of these personas, and then I say, take these selected personas and based on the question, answer it in X format. And then, yeah, we start to generate the debate. And after a few short moments, you should start seeing a stream of their answers. So we'll give it a quick little tick here.
All these links that Phil's using, I'm going to go ahead and post into the chat. I'm doing them as he's displaying them. So you guys can mess with them yourself, play around with it.
Here we go. So the pessimist is on his negative tip as usual. And then it's going to run down. So they get an opening statement and then however many rounds you pick and then a closing statement.
Got it.
So, and I took my UI inspiration from the old Final Fantasy games where they kind of stream through each character's sentences.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to give you a bunch of this. We can skip it. And then, yeah, it gives you like round 1 and they're actually going back and forth with each other. Like this one's agreeing with the pessimist. Of course you are. You're a skeptic. And then, yeah, closing statements. So I built this in about half a day using like an LLM to help me generate the code for it, and then like the styling.
Nice.
So if I can build this in half a day, and this is currently free, I can only imagine what other people could do with it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, people have debates all the time. Like when you're in the shower, it's like, I should have said this when I was talking. Now
Right,
you have a
right.
tool. Now you got a tool that helps you
Exactly.
with your comebacks even faster, right? Powered by Lilypad.
Yeah, so there's just so many things you can build. I come up with a new idea every day. I just don't have
Yeah.
the time to build it, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm hoping that the Lilypad API is free for me for much longer, so I can put some of these projects to work. But for now, I'm just enjoying kind of playing around and getting other people. You know, we just did a Filecoin hackathon. We got 22 submissions, and
Yeah.
some of those, I'm not going to talk too much on them now because I haven't released the winners yet. But some of those projects are really cool, man. Like a mix between like real life stuff and AI and all that kind of thing. It's insane.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm so excited to see what people come up with, because basically, like you said, you're kind of like, you have a boost, right? You have an in-house tutor that has a
Right,
question like, I'm learning different languages
right,
all the time. Can you refactor this into this language? Can you, throw these docs in? Can you give me the too long didn't read? I hate reading docs. I'll tell you that right
right.
now. I hate with a passion reading docs. I also hate listening to a 1 hour video when I need 5 minutes of it, right? So
Yep.
can you summarize this and get to the point what I'm looking for, right? And
Well,
those
that's
tools, yeah,
yeah. So they're kind of the things that we're looking. That's like the next generation of Lilypad that we're looking to support, right? We just added vision support on our API, so you can send in a base 64 URL of an image and then say, does this image have a dog in it anywhere? And
yeah,
the LLM will like go through it and kind of predict what is in that image for you. So what you're saying with the video summary
yeah,
in the near future, that would be very, very possible. We talked about the Telegram,
yeah,
the Telegram bot that kind of
yeah.
summarizes a day's worth of messages or the last 20 messages. So these are all things that we're actively making. We recently just Ali created a Telegram chat that has a bunch of topics and then feeds them to an LLM. That LLM then generates a image prompt, and it just dynamically generates cool images in the Telegram group. So to give you an idea of, you can basically build anything with it.
Yeah. I mean, basically what you told me is hot dog, not hot dog, right? From
Yep. Yep.
basically on that.
Exactly.
Xinjiang right here. We're rebuilding it again. They call it in the future. But that's pretty
And
cool.
then we do have to get that pop the balloon thing going. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. That would crack me up if someone was able to video image that into some kind of code debate or some kind of dating app. That would be
Right.
hilarious. Yeah.
So that, I feel like that's a lot to kind of chomp on. I didn't
Yeah.
want to go too into the code side of things. I think it's we use like a lot of kind of very used standards. Like we do the OpenAI standard for
Right.
the LLMs and things like that. So
If someone wants to get jumping onto this, right? Are there repos? Where's the docs? Where is all that? I'm going to put the main website right now, Lilypad Tech, on the chat right now, so you can check out the open access AI.
yep.
But where would they go when they want to just jump into the resources and just start building?
To
They got
our
the API
to the docs.
to the docs.
Yep. Docs.lilypad.tech. We have pretty much all of what I just showed you is in there with the links to the code and things like that. So they can just kind of take a look at the examples. We also have a hold on, I forgot it. blog.lilypadnetwork.org. And there you will find there's the guide on how to create your own module. There's also there's a chatbot guide, just really kind of 0 to 1 hello world style things.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you are feeling extra curious, just jump in our Discord and ask or DM me and ask me questions. We love to hear from everyone. We love getting people started. We want people to build with us, right? Like that's kind of why we're here right now, is we want to encourage people that have never touched the tooling, that it's really not that different from the everyday tools we use outside of crypto, outside of AI. It's just generic, RESTful endpoints for the API, and then CLI commands.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. As time goes on, like when we first started discussing the workshop, things have grown, right? So like it just continually gets bigger and bigger with more ideas, more tools. I really like the VS Code thing. Like that's super cool. Like if you've never even done a plugin, you can learn how to do it and then just add in your own
Right.
AI agent to it, right? So like that's one of my most favorite ones, because as a dev, I like to use any tools that I can to make things quick. And if you look at like the Claude one with the API call, that is super expensive. I see people with Cursor saying like they're racking up all their credits very quickly when they're, vibe coding. Yeah.
And then like you're in the middle of a debugging session, you run out of credits and it loses all the context you've just given it.
Yeah.
You have to switch to a different model. It's insane.
Yeah. And then Narv right here, so you can also build Chrome extensions too. Is there a guide on there somewhere?
I built a Chrome extension. I have it running locally because I didn't get it published. I guess Google Chrome's permissions thing is very, very vigilant. So I do have one here, and you just go on any page, any web page, and pick a model and then click capture, and it summarizes what's on that web page. So that'd be good for your docs thing, right?
Yep. Yeah.
But I don't think I have a guide for that. Oh, there he is. Sorry, guys.
You made a special appearance for the end right there. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's
the Lilypad marketing team, right there.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, how I built that is I just used an LLM and said I want to build a Chrome extension that hits this endpoint, and then I gave it the context. You are a page summarizer. Generate this and give it back to me in this format. Nice. And then I installed it onto my machine locally, and now I can use it whenever I want.
Nice. Beautiful.
I will get a guide for that though, because I feel like it'd be cool. People can kind of see the flow of how you do that and get tricky with it, get funky with it.
What I love about workshops, and then this is I guess a little bit of a I guess a rant or something, is like when we talk about products, or when we try to host workshops, we don't want it to be just about the one thing that you're shilling. You want to walk away with a skill, right? So even if you don't care about AI, right, you get to learn how to make an extension for VS Code, or you get to learn to make a Chrome extension. So like sometimes you stumble onto different skill sets. So even if you don't care about Lilypad at all, like learn to make an extension, right?
100%. And also like we encourage people to deploy their own models. If you want to use text to audio and become an AI producer or something, you can do that with Lilypad. We're not boxing people into a certain direction. We want to allow people to be as creative as they can be, and also build their own solutions for the problems that they want to solve. So I see a lot of businesses coming out of having Lilypad in their kind of infra stack.
Nice.
Because you can be very unique with what you're trying to do, and it's not that hard to build it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, like, as we start seeing a lot of the same stuff over and over again in the space, like we've seen the Twitter reply bots, we've seen the Web3 deploy coin thing, like it's dead. Like I'm over it.
It's the NFTs of 2021. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's got their own collection. There's nothing unique about it. But you can build on top of that and make it your unique kind of use case. It's really cool. It's really fun stuff.
Yeah. If you're just, I mean, I'm like halfway in the AI game. Again, I do a lot more stuff in the DeFi world, and I try to mix the AI, and I see a lot of things don't mix. But I think a lot of people coming onto the workshop, or that are kind of curious about AI, what a great place to start with Lilypad. If you haven't messed with AI, and if you tried the other ones, it's kind of expensive to start now because a lot of those free credits are gone, right? You don't get those free API calls anymore. You don't do anything. So it kind of costs you to get in, right? If you want to play, you have to pay. And so now Lilypad is your second option now to be able to actually experiment and have fun with it. And so, again, like as Narv was saying, a lot of these things are powered by OpenAI. So not really Web3. you know how anybody that's in AI and Web3 kind of know how I feel about it. I wouldn't give AI my money at all. I'll give it like $10 max. Not yet, right? We're not there yet.
Right.
But you know, experimentation, right? Like all these things can make you money, right? Without
Yep.
having to deploy a token or anything. So that's kind of one of my things on there. If you want to deploy one, cool. But yeah, so as well, like the cost to run something locally. Oh my God, like Narv's reading my head right here. The cost to run something locally will cost you 5 to 10K, right?
Right.
Yeah. So like I don't have 5 to 10K to burn. We're in a bear market. Okay. We are kind of pumping today, but I
Right.
don't have that kind of money to burn.
But we
So
got to
I'll
be
just
safe with it.
yeah, I'll use my own API on there, and that would be super cool to mess with. That pop the balloon is really in my head with that vibe thing. So
We can
maybe
vibe
a weekend thing,
together.
you know. Maybe a weekend thing when I'm feeling devious with Twitter profiles or something. I don't know, something funny. And I think oh, there we go. Phil's back. Lost you for a little bit.
Sorry.
Yes.
I had something I had to say, and then you started mentioning vibe coding, the pop the balloon thing. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. So one good thing I would kind of suggest is anyone that has ideas or things that they're thinking of building, like you kind of have a direct pipeline to the team.
Yep.
So I encourage you to reach out to anyone on the Lilypad team and kind of pitch your idea. We will support it. We will help you as much as we can with the resources we have. So I think that's another plus is it's free. You have all these cool examples you can go off, but you can also kind of use us as a soundboard and like technical support as well.
Yeah, the team is very accessible, right? I know Narb is in the audience. We have Phil, we have Jay, again, developer DAO members. They're all pretty nice. So, like, if you're kind of worried that people might critique you, I know it's kind of scary. Oh, here's my code. Can you look at it? Or here's my idea, and you get shunned. They're all very nice. So feel free to reach out. Again, I posted Phil's X Twitter on the chats. We'll make sure to put that on the YouTube as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much. It is very cool to see what you can do with this. Very cool to see what's going to happen in like a month from now and what's available. You know, right now we have the text to chat, image generation, text to video generation, and then eventually in V2 we're going to have video and images. What is it? Understanding, I guess, or like
our goal is to have any to any.
Yeah.
Kind of if you can do it in any other system, you should be able to do it on Lilypad. So that's our goal. It's just, you know, building those Docker images takes a long time. So
Yeah.
it's not easy to kind of fast track the development of those. But hopefully with enough builders, we kind of outsource that.
Which what might be a good way to see what our next workshop will be, right? This was kind of the introductory workshop. This is like one of many workshops that we'll be having with Lilypad.
Yep.
Let's see what the community wants for a second workshop. Maybe they play with the API. Maybe they want to learn how to do it locally. We'll see what they say, right? So that kind of will leave it open-ended for the community to see what do they want to see next with what Lilypad can do. And then we'll create a workshop from there. So we would love to hear back from you about what you think, what you want from here, and then what you want to see next, because we definitely have another one coming up. We haven't scheduled yet, so we're going to listen to the community, see what they say, and then work from there.
Love it.
Yeah.
Let us know what you want us to do.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Phil. And then your son for making a special appearance. It added a little liveliness to the workshop. There we go. What's up? I remember when he was a little guy, right, in the very early days. So very cool to see.
Little less energetic back then, but he's good.
Yeah. Energy's good. Energy's good. We don't want to lose it. But thank you again, Phil. Thank you to the Lilypad team. And over and out. Catch you on the next one.
See you, everyone.